Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy T, and I'm back with another video. What's good, T fam? Shout out Joel for the family nickname. We the T fam now. We the T fam for sure. Today I got a NBA myth we all thought was true. Now me personally, bro, I never been the gullible type, so y'all probably thought some of these myths was true, but me, I'm already hip. I already knew. I already know how the league go. I already know how it go. You ain't gonna fool me. Not one time. They ain't gonna get me. Hey, we 500 away from 10K, bro. Y'all been going crazy, bro. Let's get there. If you watching this and you not subscribed, what is you really doing with your life? You know what I mean? Like, how are you watching videos not subscribed? Like, that's you really tripping, though. It's cool. I ain't gonna get on that with you. We can just get into the video. It's cool.
In 1985, a rookie Michael Jordan entered the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. At the time, he was only a few months into his NBA career, but MJ already had millions of fans in the palm of his hand.
And he got the chains on?
The future, and everyone knew it. And to
MJ was trying to get some
his
hoes.
childhood idol Julius Erving, Michael pulled off a dunk that would inevitably become his trademark.
Free throw!
A dunk from the free throw line. And on his very first attempt, Michael pulled it off. An incredible, gravity-defying dunk. Fans were amazed, judges were impressed, and Michael Jordan came in second. And he took that personally. So 2 years later in 1987, Michael Jordan made his
return to the
dunk contest, and this time...
Look at his lineup. Tom Chambers, Johnny Dawkins, Clyde. Ooh, Ron Harper used to bang out. Did y'all know that? I ain't know Ron Harper used to bang out. Who was Gerald Wilkins and Terrence? I don't know them. Damn, you got two Sonics players? So the Sonics just like boys that can bang out. Because y'all know Sean Kemp used to bang shit too.
He put it all on the table. With one of the greatest dunk contest performances in NBA history, MJ went home as the NBA dunk contest champion. But not before pulling off arguably the most iconic dunk in basketball history.
Hey!
Another free throw line dunk. But this wasn't like any that came before it. To this day, when most players do free throw line dunks, they really have to reach and strain themselves to get the ball to the hoop. But what MJ did in '87 was
easy.
It was effortless. It looked like the man was literally floating.
Easy
when fans saw this dunk, they no longer thought MJ was some sort of basketball sorcerer who figured out how to levitate in midair. They were certain of it. MJ's hang time was, and still is, like nothing else we've ever seen. The man's ability to just hang in the air.
He did used to be in the air for hella long for no reason.
And that's because it wasn't true. Not the jumping part, but the hanging part. Because contrary to popular belief, it is impossible for an athlete to hang in midair, even for a fraction of a second. The concept of an athlete's hang time is a myth. Back in 2007, a show called Sports Science paired up with former NBA player Jordan Farmar to test the theory of hang time. At the time, Jordan had a vertical leap of 42 inches, and they put this vertical to the test by attaching trackers to his body and pressure-sensitive insoles into his shoes to measure his jumps. And what they found was that no matter where he jumped from, no matter how high he jumped,
no matter how
he maneuvered his body in the air, his ascent was always exactly the same amount of time as his descent, with no pause or stall or hang time in between. When you see a player who seems to be hanging in midair, what you're really seeing is actually a bit of an illusion.
While mid-flight body contortions cannot affect their overall flight, when elite players like Michael Jordan begin their descent, their body stretches, which keeps their head moving horizontally for an extra split second. This creates the optical illusion of prolonged hang time.
Now,
hang time not a real thing.
I begin to tell you how devastated I was when I watched this episode of Sports Science as a kid.
So you telling me all them video? No, y'all know what I'm talking about. The one clip when he was playing the Heat and he jumped. And he had the ball right here, and the big man tried to block it, and he brought it back, and then he laid his ass. That's not hang time. What the fuck do you call that? What do you call it? Somebody explain that to me. Cause if you fucking ask me, it's hang time, nigga. It's he. Don't let me go get the clip, bro. Y'all finna make me go get the clip, bro, cause I can't even talk about it. It was so crazy. It still fuck up my head thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? He went here. Okay.
This is unbelievable.
That's not a myth.
Next thing you know, someone's going to tell me Michael Jordan didn't actually stretch out his arm 25 feet to score a last-second bucket to defeat the Monstars. But you can't ignore the facts. So, as great as this dunk was, it wasn't great enough to defy the laws of physics, and the concept of hang time was all just a myth. Just like many other narratives and concepts within the NBA that we've been led to believe for years. Today's video is sponsored
I don't know
by
about
Keeps.
that one.
Keeps is a subscription-based service
Man,
that
we not
focuses on
sponsored by
hair
Keeps,
growth
though.
proven treatment of pharmacy price, and the
Yeah, I need
products
to
are
keep that
delivered
shit
to
out
your
my
doctor's
video.
office or to help you off your first. That's K. Throughout the 75-year history of the NBA, there have been some incredible stories. Stuff that is so incredible that it sounds mythical. And that's because it is. When an old tale or an exaggerated recollection of events takes hold within NBA fandom, it virtually becomes a matter of fact. But
Damn.
today, we are going to find the truth behind some of these myths. Now, growing up, years ago, it was just a matter of fact that Larry Bird was the greatest three-point shooter of all time. We all knew it, and we'd all heard the stories from those who watched the man play. I mean, the dude won 3 straight three-point contests, including one where he didn't even take his warm-up off. And to this day,
Larry was
some
that
fans
guy.
will attest that Larry Bird is still one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time.
He is.
Most agreeing that he's top 3. Steph, Ray Allen, and Larry Bird. But
I ain't say all
this,
that,
my
but he
friend,
can shoot.
is a myth. For his
a
time,
myth?
Larry Bird was an excellent three-point shooter. But fast forward 35 years, and there have been dozens and dozens of players who have surpassed Bird and his shooting. Check this out. Here's a chart of the best three-point shooters of all time. The further
All right.
right a player is, the more efficient they were. And the higher up, the more threes that player made each game. All the way at the top is,
Okay.
of course, Stephen Curry on his own planet. And then you have Klay Thompson, Buddy Hield, Damian Lillard, James Harden. This list includes hundreds of players since the three-point line was added to the NBA. And all the way down here is Larry Bird. Now, of course, Bird played in an era where players shot far less
So I'm
threes.
saying, they didn't
And
shoot
for
threes
his
back then.
time, he was one of the best long-range shooters. But
He was
times
the
have
best.
changed drastically. Sure, if Bird played in today's league, he would practice shooting more threes. He'd play in a system that valued the
See, like, look-
three-pointer more.
hold on, go back.
Range shooters. But
If
times
you
have
look,
changed.
if you look at this list, bro, all these players, except for fucking Ray Allen, is still in the league today, bro. So like, Larry Bird, he played in the time, bro. They didn't shoot three. They just got the 3-point line when he got to the league. The fuck niggas ain't never seen a 3-point line. He was still out there stroking it. Fuck is you talking about? He was like, shit, this is a new line. Fuck it, let me pull it from back here. Schmack ups. Fuck is you talking about? If he played in a time where it was cool to shoot 9 threes a game, you would see him up here with Steph for sure.
Drastically. Sure, if Bird played in today's league, he would practice shooting more threes. He'd play in a system that valued the three-pointer more, and he
Exactly.
would
Look
have
at that.
shot more threes. But Larry Bird
on.
doesn't play in today's league. And just based off the facts, there are countless players that are
not a
simply
myth.
better three-point shooters than Bird was. Now, this next myth is one that has ran rampant
He's the
over
best
the last
three-point
few
shooter of his
years.
time.
And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. Every offseason, NBA fans all over social media lose their minds over Instagram and Twitter videos of NBA players who've improved their game,
Drummond?
specifically their shooting.
Drummond chicken wrap?
Every summer, clips of NBA players not missing a shot or going berserk in a training session go
Rassie,
viral. And
smack.
immediately,
Stop
fans
playing with my
believe
nigga.
these players have revolutionized their entire game. If I have to watch one more video of Ben Simmons sinking 8 straight three-pointers in an empty gym and then reading comments about how he's got a three-point shot now, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Don't get me wrong. Back when these offseason
Hey, he
videos
not
first-
lying, bro. He not lying, bro. We finna see them Ben Simmons clips in a little bit. We finna see that off-season Ben Simmons just for him to come and play 26 games of the season.
began to surface a few years ago, some of these guys had me fooled. Andre Drummond's got his free throws down. Some player added 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason and their game has completely transformed. Ben Simmons can now shoot the 3-ball.
He put his stats
You
up.
want to know why Ben Simmons is drilling threes like he's Stephen Curry's long-lost brother in these off-season clips? Because he's in an empty gym with zero pressure and piss-poor defense or literally no defense on him at all. 99%
You know, I can do
of
that.
NBA players knock down
on
damn
now.
near every shot they take in practice. They are all automatic in open runs against players you've never heard of. And time again, we are shown that these off-season clips do not translate to the NBA season. I think Lonzo Ball may be the only player in recent history to actually vastly improve his shot over the course of one offseason. We have got to stop taking these off-season clips so seriously. It's just practice. Every NBA player looks like a god when they're getting open shots. And no, Ben Simmons cannot shoot the three despite the 30-second shooting clinic he posted on his Instagram. Now, the average height of an NBA player is 6'7" tall,
myth.
which is really, really tall. In fact, the average NBA player is taller than 99.99% of all males in the United States. That means, on average, if you gathered 1,000 random men, odds are only one of them will be as tall as the average NBA player. And knowing this, it kind of blows my mind when people say you don't need to be tall to play in the NBA. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a myth. Take me, for example. I'm 6'1", and being around basketball my entire life, I've never considered myself to be tall by any stretch of the imagination. But generally speaking, I'm still taller than about 93% of men within the United States.
Right.
Now, out of the 590 players currently active in the NBA, take a wild guess at how many of them are my height or shorter.
Out of how many?
40.
Damn, you didn't give me the chance to hit.
There are 40 players in the entire NBA that are 6 feet 1 inches tall.
Yeah, bro, because like
I quickly go from being taller than about 93% of men in the general population to taller than just 2% of players.
You gotta be able to get a bucket.
But it gets worse, because the average height for a male in the US is 5'9", which means that an average sized man would literally be the shortest player in the NBA. But he wouldn't be the shortest player in NBA history.
It's just so much harder to play basketball being smaller. That's what it all comes down to, really. Like you can it's some guys that's 6'1" that were nasty. You feel me? Nasty. Like who he like Chris Paul. Chris Paul like 6 foot though. That's what I'm saying. Like Chris Paul, he's nasty. That's why he can play in the league. Your regular 6 foot dude can't do what Chris Paul doing. That's why he can't get in the league. You feel me? That's why they're shorter. It's easier when you big as ever, bro. It's easier. You just catch the ball, do layups. You feel me? It take way less skill to be a big. You know? Let me ask y'all this. Have you ever heard somebody say, "Man, if he was shorter, he would be better at basketball"? Nobody has ever said that ever. But you hear niggas say, if Kyrie was taller, he'd probably be the GOAT. You feel me? Because if he got taller, it make everything easier. Of course, this is not a myth. This is common knowledge.
Of the 3,500 players to ever play a game in the modern NBA, only 11 of them were 5'9" or shorter. That's 0.3%, less than half of 1% of all NBA players
That's
since
crazy,
1977 have been average in stature. Look at
So
how
that mean-
minuscule Nate Robinson looks against.
So what you really saying is I should start a league with 5'9" and shorter, 9 foot rims. 9 foot rims. Start a league. That's what I'm hearing. Who want to start that league? Cause I might win MVP first year. You feel me?
NBA players. The man is 5'9". This is what an average guy
Hey!
looks like in the NBA. As if the astronomical chances of making it to the league weren't difficult enough, not being tall makes this immense goal next to impossible. So yes, you do need to be tall to play in the NBA. Well, either that or be an absolute anomaly of an athlete. You know, an athlete like
you gotta
Spud
be.
Webb
Oh my
or Nate
goodness.
Robinson.
Spud
or
Webb
Michael
coming down the
Jordan.
lane is
Except
crazy.
Michael Jordan wasn't only a freak athlete. He was also 6'6", a combination of attributes and physical gifts that eventually made him the greatest basketball player of all time. And decades after Jordan's retirement from the game, his legend continues to grow. The man went 6-0 in the finals throughout his career, but many say that if he didn't retire the first time in 1993, Michael and the Bulls would have won 8 straight championships. But this
8 straight
is a
is
massive
crazy.
myth. You see, that's impossible, because Jordan did lose in the playoffs to the Orlando Magic. Not in the finals, not in the conference finals, but in the second round of the playoffs. So there's really no need to theorize if the Bulls would have won 8 straight titles, since we literally saw Michael and the Bulls lose right in the middle of their decade-long run. And I know what some of you are thinking. When Michael returned to the NBA in 1995, he wasn't in basketball shape, and he didn't have enough time to get reacclimated to playing basketball by the time the playoffs came around. And although there's some truth to this,
I'm thinking the whole time, I thought he retired. I thought he was going for 2 years, so he only retired for 1 year. And then he came back the next year and got put out. And then that's when he three-peated. I thought he came back and just three-peated off the bat. Y'all Jordan fans be lying, bro. Y'all gotta stop that lying shit, bro.
I'm more inclined to agree if MJ didn't average 31, 7, and 5 a game against Orlando in that series.
Ooh,
in fact, MJ had better numbers in the playoffs right after his return in 1995.
He wasn't in basketball shape 30 a game.
The following season after being back for a season and a half. People act like he was a shell of himself in his return, when in reality he was about 95% himself in those playoffs. The truth is, after losing Horace Grant in the 94 offseason, the Bulls struggled against teams with prolific big men. And when the Bulls met a prime Shaquille O'Neal and the Magic in the playoffs, this weakness was put on full display in a 6-game series.
Come here, Jordan.
If the Bulls made it past Orlando, they would have had to go through the Knicks, who were just as deep in the front court. And eventually, they would have had to face the Rockets, who were the most complete team in the league that season, with one of the greatest big men of all time. Even if the Bulls had Michael and 9 in the league that season, and eventually they would have had
the Rockets might have had the ugliest backcourt in the world, bro. With fucking what is his name? Sam Cassell and Kenny Smith. Oh my god, he like an alien. Like look at this nigga mouth, bro. Y'all see his? You can't tell me. You can't tell me he don't look like a camel right here, bro. Like look at this nigga, bro. And then Kenny Smith just bald as fuck. You know his knees touch together and shit. His knees look like that when you...
With one of the greatest big men of all time. Even if the Bulls had Michael in 94 and the entirety of the 95 season, they just didn't have the roster to outmatch some of the other teams at the time. Not to mention that time and time again, we are shown that winning multiple championships in a row has massive effects on teams. Between injuries, contracts, and player retention,
I think Michael would have lost to Hakeem
isn't as simple as just
in the
having
finals.
The talent. The Warriors assembled the damn Justice League for a few seasons, and they still couldn't win 3 in a row. Kobe and Shaq were the best duo in league history, but after three-peating, they just couldn't replicate the magic they once had. I'd even go as far as saying Michael Jordan retiring in 93 was the best thing he could have done for his legacy. By the time he came back, he was rejuvenated, he was motivated, and the Bulls had made the necessary offseason moves to make them the overwhelming favorite again.
Facts.
So the next time you hear a crazy story or some stat that sounds too good to be true, it's probably because it isn't true. When a player reaches greatness, he becomes the man, the myth, and the legend. You just gotta know which is which. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
That's the end of the video, man. Like I said, ain't none of these fool me. You feel me? It might have got y'all, but it didn't get me. If you like the video, man, drop a like, subscribe, man. Drop down in the comments what you want to see next, who you want to see next, when you want to see it. You feel me? Because I ain't missing no days all summer, all year, whenever y'all want to do it. I ain't missing no days. So y'all just let me know what you want to see and I'm going to drop it. You feel me? Straight like that, boys. And I'm out.